Hi guys, let me show you a quick way to figure out what kind of chords you can build from a given scale. This is useful if you want to do songwriting within a key, or if you want to be able to turn it around the other direction and be able to figure out what sort of changes you could play a particular scale or mode over. So just for sake of simplicity, we're using a C major scale, and we'll try to figure out what kind of C chords we can build. So if you basically skip every other note, this gives you the major triad and the type of seventh that the triad has. So in this case, that's a C major 7. If you don't know this, you'll need to learn something about chord formulas and key signatures in order to understand that. I'll go over that in another video. All right, so we have C major 7. Now you have a couple ways you can get the chord extensions. So the chord extensions are the things that give the chord depth, like 9s, 11s, 13s, sharp 11s, so on. So if you were to keep hopscotching into the next octave, you'd have DFA. You could also approach it as the remaining 3 notes in the scale that we haven't covered. Those are the potential extensions. Or you could just take this and move it over one to the right, and those are the extensions. Okay, so what we have there, if we understand that, you have a C major 7 chord, and we also have a 9, which is the D, or a 2, 11, which is the F, or a 4, 13, which is the A, or the 6. So from that, we know we can build major 9, major 11, major 13, okay, all sorts of stuff. You can also derive secondary sets of triads. So for example, D could be a 9th, but we could also look at it as a 2, which would give us a C sus2 chord if we had C, D, and G, and so on. Now let me give you another example. Well, what about if we played in a completely different scale? So if I were to put a G sharp here, okay, what that is now are the notes in an A harmonic minor scale. So let's say I wanted to figure out, I don't know, F. Like what kind of F chord could I build? Well, if we hopscotch it, we've got F, A, C, that's F major, okay, and then we have E, so we have F major 7. Okay, now if we shift it over one more, we've got G sharp, B, and D. So if we look at that, B would function as a sharp 11, D is a 13, and if you take a look at the G sharp, okay, that's a sharp 9, but it also reveals potential secondary triads. So for example, G sharp is the same as A flat. Okay, well, A flat C is an F minor chord. You could also flat C to B. If you look at that, that extension also functions not only as an extension, but it's also a secondary triad of a diminished chord, okay, because you've got F, A flat, and C flat. That's the one flatted third, flatted fifth. That's a diminished chord. So you can go on and see all of those possibilities, and you can, using this method, construct any type of chord from any type of scale, even one that you're unfamiliar with. It's a great way to pick up more ideas of how you could solo and write songs. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Thanks, guys.